This is part of my videos on my mystical testimony. And it's events that happen that are mystical, and my explanation for them, and the relevance in my own life. Today is my brother was died on a Ben Hashemashot, and my Hiddush is that one observes it a day, a shalem v'hetzi, a day and a half. And I went out at 7 o'clock this morning and played against the wall. This is the second day of my brother's yortzeit. And when I came back, I fell asleep. I woke up. It was about 10 o'clock. My brother wasn't in the house. His Nefesh left. This I am sure of. His Nefesh has left the premises, the environment, the cemetery grounds. It's left. How can I be sure of this? I'm able to feel it. That's how I'm able to tell you. Now, I wasn't able to feel the other parts of the soul. See? I have a record that my brother's Zelem left 30 days before he died. That we know, but I didn't feel his Zelem. The Zelem's an astral body. This is a very deep issue here. Very deep issue. This Zelem is the 6th level. There are 5 levels of the soul. And then there's a 6th level, which is the Zelem. It's not really a part of the soul. The only word that could describe the Zelem is the Atzmutz of Ein Sof level. It's the Atzmutz level. Now, Zelem has a gematria of 160, which is the gematria of Cain. And in a certain sense, everybody's Zelem comes out of the root of Cain. Another amazing thing is that the gematria of Zelem is 358, which is the same as Mashiach and Nahash. So this has a positive and negative connotation to it. That's the Zelem. Not even talking about that. That's before the person dies. Now, in the family here, I do have experience, and I haven't talked about this too much, about the dog Lily, who perceived my brother's death and perceived everything in that time, in that 30-day period. We didn't know he was going to die or have a collapse. The dog picked it up. The Kelev picked it up. Kelev is 586, Yerushalayim. You know? Bukol. Same 586 at Shofar. And the full spelling of Yesod. But this is something else. I just want to get into this other thing today. The Zelem is the 6th level. That to me is the fingernail, the 3rd parak of the thumb. Fingernail. And then the Yehida. When my brother dies and died, that Yehida stays until the burial. Kind of like floats around. Then the burial goes. I didn't perceive the Yehida. We know by somebody else, but I'm not that fine to perceive the Yehida. For some reason, afterwards I retraced, and I realized about the zella, the fingernail. Maybe that's why I have a long fingernail, and why I was been asked why I have a long fingernail. But I didn't know the Yehida, which is part of the Adam Kadmon world. I didn't perceive that leaving. Then we go into kind of, once a person dies, then you rush them to the burial, and then you have a 7-day Shiva period, which is composed of 3 days for the Chaya, which comes out of the Chokmah, and the Abba, Chokmah. That's the 3 days of the Etziliot world, so to speak. And then, that's one level of mourning. And then you have, after that, 4 days, which completes the 7 days for the Nefesh. So the Nefesh, Neshama. So the Chaya has to wait 3 days. The Neshama waits 7 days, which is included in the 3 days of the Chaya, and then 4 more. And this is actually depicted on the tefillin of the head, because you have a 3 on the right and a 4 on the, or whatever, 3 on the right, 4 on the left, and that's 7. And that gap between the 3 and the 4 is also the gap that you see on the in the major scale, on a piano. C, D, E, and then a gap. F, G, a half step is between there. That is the Chaya and the Neshama. After the 7 days in Neshama, you'll walk around the block because that's left. After the Shiva period, the Neshama's left. Did I feel it leave? Did I sense it? No. Then after that, you have a 30-day continuance up until the 30th day for the Ruach. Now, as a brother, I said Kaddish, I'm supposed to say Kaddish, just until the Ruach. But since nobody in my family is alive, I continued it till the 11th month. But the Ruach leaves at 30 days. Did I perceive the Ruach? No. I didn't feel it leave. After 11 months, you stop the Kaddish because theoretically, the soul, But anyway, today was the 12th month. I went out there today. It's a whole and a half day. 7 o'clock this morning, which is a half a day more than yesterday because he died ben Neshama Shot. I can tell you that the Nefesh left. The Nefesh left. His Nefesh left. And you know why? I sense that. And in a certain way, I'd use the word sense, in a certain sense, you can only sense the Nefesh because that's the physical soul. So my body felt it. It's the body soul. My body felt it left. It's left because I'm that sensitive to feel the Nefesh leave. And that leaves at the year. And that's why people do Kaddish and wait for the year, and that's it. It's gone. Now, in all those other souls that I mentioned, the Yehida, the Chaya, the Shoma, the Ruach, the Nefesh, there are 5 other levels of soul. So this is a retrograde back up, walking backwards, so to speak. If you think I know what level I felt of the Nefesh today, what level of these 5 levels? Did I feel his Gehida leave? Did I feel his Ruach leave? Did I feel his Chaya? I don't know. All I know is I felt his Nefesh. So it's the Nefesh of the Nefesh. And that's what I'm sure of. And that's my mystical testimony. Because I'm sure that his Nefesh left. And even if it's the lowest level, the Nefesh, it's gone. Now, what do we do with these other levels of soul? Do we continue on after the first year for the Nefesh itself? Do we then do a year or some sort of observance for the Ruach, which is the second level of soul? This is a whole debatable issue, you know. But as of today, his Nefesh is gone. And I'll wait. I'm waiting. This is only a mystical testimony. I'm not telling you what I'm projecting to wait or hope for. Of course I hope to attach myself to his other levels of soul. But as of now, his Nefesh is gone. And it's beautiful. You know? It's beautiful. Because I feel there's a continuance. What this means is another story. This is more of a testimony of the actual action. You see, what it means is I'll leave for other videos, other types of videos. This is just a depiction of the physical events of what's happened that I'm sure of. And these are deep spiritual connections. And in the 5 levels of the soul and in the Zelem, this is a little bit different. In the Zelem, you see, that Zelem is gone even before you die. It's gone 30 days before you die. So the real aspect of you, the mamish, the atzmutz, essence aspect of you, left 30 days before you died. And this year here is only a playing out until the lower levels leave the scene.